Push Pass Nation, come on in, check in, post a message, let us know that you are here. Simone Matthew here. Just coming in, we have Dr. Shamina with us, and she's here to give us an update of everything that has been going on since her appearance on CBS Morning. So she's taking some time out of her busy schedule. I'm sure by now, her phone must be ringing off the hook to be with us. So let us go ahead and invite her to join the conversation. Dr. Shamina, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for inviting me again, Dr. Matthew.
Yes, it is great to see you, and congratulations on your success to date.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. Everybody come on in, share the live. Let everyone know that we are here. Just touching base with Dr. Shamina because I anticipate at one point she may become so busy, she may not have this time
Never
to come hang out with us.
no, no, never too busy for you because you were the first platform I had, honestly, like outside of just like maybe an invite to one of the radio shows in Dominica. You reached out to me and you embraced the book and everything. Never too busy for you. Never.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. So just kind of tell us, because I'm sure everyone is wondering, well, how did you end up on CBS Morning? So, I'm going to post the interview that you did. I'm going to pin it to this video so everyone can see it. And if you're watching us on YouTube, it will also be in the list of YouTube videos on Push Past 10, so you can check it out as well. So just tell us, how did your book end up on Gayle's desk? What was your response when they contacted you? So just kind of walk us through the
Yeah.
experience a little bit.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so for those of you who probably know like or follow Oprah Winfrey, like she has a program called or a subscription called Oprah Daily. And I subscribe to Oprah Daily because I like that whole inspirational talk about being your best self, about just the kindness that she always tries to bring to the world. And so one day when the book came out, a couple of my friends who live in New York, they wanted me to send them a signed copy. So I had to, they couldn't, of course, order through the online store. So I had signed some copies for them and I mailed it from my house. On the way out of the door, out the door, I have a table by my front door. And on that table was an Oprah Winfrey magazine, the old magazine. And I remember, Gayle King had just had a grandson, and then Oprah and Gayle were talking about like her grandson Luca and how excited they were to welcome the baby. And I just had like, honestly, it's almost like the spirit told me, like, just send the book to baby Luca because I'm so influenced positively by Gayle and Oprah. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to send the book to baby Luca because I really look up to Gayle. I think she's amazing. And so I was like, okay. So I ran back inside because I'm doing this in between. I had something going on. I had a meeting I had to get to. It was like a short lunch break. I ran, got a book, signed a little note for him, and I basically ran to the post office. When I got to the post office, I did not even know where to send the book to. I did not have an address. So I'm sitting in my car trying to find an address. And then I found the CBS Morning's address. But I told myself, these stations get hundreds of thousands of books and cups and mugs and everybody's design. So I just said, if nothing comes out of it, it's okay. But I did it with good intention. And I just said, I just want the book to get out there and let's see what happens. So 3 months go by. At this point, I've totally forgotten that I sent the book to CBS Mornings. And just so you know, CBS Mornings was the only place I sent the book to, the only media outlet. And so anyways, I get a lot of spam calls. I'm sure we all do. Somebody's always calling, asking you to get new car insurance or something. So as I'm working during the day, I mean, my phone's always next to me because I have 2 young children. But when I don't know the number, I just, hit the red button. So I did that for a couple of days or whatever. And then I'll never forget, on August 2nd, I'm sitting in my living room. My husband's washing dishes and he can see me, we have an open floor plan and he can see me. And then he rushed to me because I'm sitting there, I just had to tremble because I got a message saying that like my voicemail box was full. So I'm going through the voicemail box and I'm hearing, hi, this is like a producer from the Gayle King morning show. Gayle King loved your book and she'd love you to come on. I'm like, this is a joke. Somebody must be like scamming me. So I'm literally shaking, like not just like a little jitter, like when you're nervous, not even like a coffee jitter. Like when I drink coffee, I get really shaky. Like I'm spasming on the couch. My husband like drops his plate and he comes to me because he probably thought I was having a stroke or something. And I'm asking him, like, are you hearing what I'm hearing? Because I couldn't believe it, Dr. Matthew. It was just so surreal. And he goes, no, this is real. And he was really calm. And I had like two missed messages or three missed messages from her because she'd been trying to reach me. And I
Mhm.
just been hanging up on this lady, like an opportunity like that,
Yeah,
because
but I would have done the same thing too because I don't take calls from numbers I don't know. So I would have been clicking like hang up, hang up.
exactly. I'm looking for, normally during the day, I'm looking for either my husband's name, my mother's name, or like the elementary school. And if it's
Mhm.
not one of those three things, I'm just like, I can't talk. Even some of my friends, I'll just hang up and just text them like, I can't talk right now. They know what that means.
Mhm.
So long story short, I finally got a hold of her. Of course, I messaged back that night. I couldn't wait for morning. And I'm just like, okay. We set up a meeting and I spoke to this wonderful lady and she's telling me all this stuff. And I said to her, but I don't know if I could do this because you want live, like 5 segments live, no practice, just live TV. And you know
Mhm.
what she said to me? She said, but we saw you speak. So, Dr. Simone, you opened the door for me because I believe she saw the segment you did
Ooh,
with me. She said, we saw you speak on Facebook. We saw you speak. And I said to her,
what?
but do you know that speaking like on that podcast is not the same as speaking, on CBS
To
Morning?
millions of people.
Yes. And she said, but you can do it. And she was so encouraging and just very kind. And
Mhm.
person after person at CBS Mornings I spoke to, everybody was kind. And I was nervous because I didn't get to speak to Gayle until, of course, the day I met her.
Yes.
And it was just an interesting time being at the studio and then
Mhm.
just getting the I when I met Gayle, I was so starstruck
I
almost.
can
I almost couldn't speak.
imagine.
Yeah, I was like, I literally think I said something like, "Oh my God, Gayle, I'm frozen." I really think I said that to her. And she was just like, freeze, unfreeze. But she was
Yes.
so kind about it. And she has
Mhm.
this huge personality. And she's like almost like your favorite aunt you haven't spoken to in a long time and you finally get to see her again.
Mhm.
I felt like I knew her like for a long time. It was just
Right.
this feeling I had. And
Mhm.
then, of course, everybody at the show was just amazing. They were encouraging me the entire time. I mean, they knew I was nervous. So they brought me to the dressing room. Everybody was encouraging. They did my makeup. They did a really good job on my makeup. You guys can
Mhm.
see, like, when I do
Oh
my
yeah.
makeup and when they do my makeup, night and day.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
did do my hair because I recently just cut my hair and I'm like, I don't know if they can handle this. But so I did my bun, my favorite, that's my signature hairstyle.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, ready for this. I had two girlfriends with me, Sidika and Allison, my two best friends. They were with me there the whole day, supporting me. And let me tell you the nice thing about the CBS Morning Crew. My girlfriends were there. And if you did not know that I was the one going to be featured, you could not tell because they treated my girlfriends with so much love. Like they were just wherever I was, they were there. Everybody was so kind and friendly and open to the point where when I was actually at the table doing the interview, my girlfriends were literally right there. I could reach out and touch them. I mean,
Mm.
they were so accommodating.
Because they recognize that's your comfort.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
mean, Gail was just so attentive to me before we got to the show. I mean, every time they would cut to like weather or the local news, she was right there with me, just
Mhm.
talking to me about the book. I mean, and it was just, I mean, I cannot explain it. It was the most amazing experience. The
Yeah,
fact
and I mean,
that
you have to give them a lot of credit as well because the fact that you said, oh my God, live interview, I don't think I can do this. They could have
Mhm,
simply just moved on to the next person and said, look, we have
exactly.
thousands of people looking for this opportunity, and
Yes,
here you are doubting yourself. We're just going to move on to the next set of people who really are prepared
yeah.
for this.
Yes, but they were just like, no, you can do this. And I think the big part is, I mean, Gail said when the book landed on her desk, and I think she said it on the interview, she's like, this is not for morning TV. Nobody wants to talk about that in the morning, right? Like, but
Mhm.
she said no. She thought about her grandson, she thought about everybody in the world, and she said, you know what, this is what we need because we don't talk about it. And
Mhm.
I think she really liked the way that I laid out the book and that it was just not a book, it was a toolkit. It comes,
Yes.
you have the cutout badges and the posters and everything else. She really liked that. And I mean, it was just an amazing experience. Nate Burleson and Tony, they were also very friendly, very kind. I
Mhm.
mean, after the segment, I didn't even have to ask for a photo. Like they didn't even make me feel uncomfortable. She like said, "Let's take a photo."
Wow.
Gail is just, let me tell you, amazing.
Right,
Yes.
right.
So
Yeah, and again, congratulations. And folks are coming in to say congratulations to you. Annette Phillip,
thank
I see you.
you.
Thank you for being here. Clyde
Hey,
Gregoire,
Nat.
J. Anna Williams. Let's see who else
Mhm,
is with us. Laurencia, Joanna Alfred,
mhm.
Mauricia Theophile, Nita George Teat. Let's see, Marceline Edwards. Great to see you, Marceline. Olivia Esbry is here. Everyone is here. to
Mhm.
say congratulations to you, and we're
Thank
so
you,
proud
God.
of you for getting. And it speaks also about the importance of taking a chance, though.
Yes,
Dr. Shamina, the fact that something just told you to send the book in, and you did.
yes, yes. So yeah, let me give you a story. And I know some people may will understand what I'm gonna say next, and some people will doubt me. But I'll just tell you this from my heart. I really didn't want to be, like, say, known for this topic of all topics. Like I always tell my friends, why wasn't I known for, like, red bottom shoes, or, like, a nice
Mm,
handbag or something? But it's like I try to keep this secret like a secret, right? Because it's not a secret, but I try to keep it a secret because it felt like a stain. Like I'm this, like, on the outside, I'm like this, like, hardworking, sort of successful PhD person, right? And then I have this, like, stain, it's like this thing, and I wanted to keep it inside, but, like, it was almost like God was, like, almost like calling me to speak, to the point where when somebody asked me, "Hey, do you want to come talk about this?" Even now, when I'm tired and I'm mentally drained, I cannot say no. It's like my head says no, my heart sometimes says no, but my mouth will say yes. And
right.
once I say yes, I'm gonna be there. And it's like God has been pushing me to do certain things. So even like when I was walking out the door and that voice said to me, just send a book to Lucas, I think that was just God, honestly. I'm
Hmm.
such a firm believer in, like, there's no such thing as coincidences, and everything happens for a reason. Even like my past, the horrible things that happened to me, everything happened for a reason. Maybe I was just supposed to be a voice for that topic. And I thank God every day when I hear people tell me, you don't understand. We think you're so brave. And so many people has told me it has happened to me too. Dr. Simone, the
Hmm.
amount of people that has told me that this has happened to them too. I'm just so glad that I can be a voice for them. And I will continue to be a voice. I will make sure I take breaks, to take care of my mental self. But I'm there for those who need a voice.
Yeah,
So
and it just speaks to listening to what your purpose is, because so many times we get caught up in the limelight and thinking, we need to chase this dream, chase that dream, but
yeah.
just being quiet and listening to what God wants us to do. Because here you are, such a tragedy happened to you in terms of being, molested as a child. Let's just put it
Hmm.
out there. And
Hmm.
here you have where God turned that trauma
Yes.
and said, "This is what I have called you to do. This
Yes.
is what I have called you." It may have been painful at the time you were going through it, but
Yes.
you're using
Horrible.
that trauma for a purpose, which
Yeah.
is what you were called to do.
Yeah, it bothered me that I knew that so many children would have to go through what I continue to go through, because I'm still healing. I'm on a journey. This is going to be a journey, like, maybe forever, right?
Mhm.
And I just told myself, what if that happened to my daughter, or one of my really good friends, it happened to her daughter in 2021.
Oh my.
Well, her daughter told in 2021. It was happening 2 years prior. And I'm just like, no way, no way. It's
Mhm.
too much. I mean, almost every other girlfriend of mine that I've spoken to has told me that it happened to them. I've
Mhm.
to the point where now I have young men coming to me and telling
Right.
me that happened to them, young men from Dominica.
Yeah, and I think what we're seeing now in terms of what you're doing and the fact that we're now using your book as a tool in Dominica. And again, I want to thank you so much for facilitating Dominica Child Protection Society's ability to get the 10 copies.
Oh
That
my
has been
gosh.
going incredibly well. I think what we're doing is normalizing the conversation, Dr. Shamina. We
Mm-hmm.
are normalizing the conversation so that people know this is not a stain on you.
I don't
This
care.
is not a secret, despite what your perpetrator may have told you in the past. You need to speak up. So now we are making it almost normal that
Yeah.
people who have been impacted can speak up, so
Yeah.
that children who may have these perpetrators approaching them, because we're trying to get to the point where it does not become "it happened to me," but it gets to
Exactly.
the point where we're
It
saying
did not
it's
happen.
about to happen to me. So
Yeah.
what can we do to stop it?
You hit the nail on the head. The whole goal of my book is to let children know what the grooming signs look like. Like I talk about the
Mhm.
rock on the knees, the tickling, all that stuff. So children can say, wait a minute, no. No means no. No doesn't mean maybe, or see whether you like this or that. It's just no, you know? And so, no, listen, I hope and I pray that every day that some child reading this book will really understand what I'm trying to say and will have the voice to speak up. Because I know adults, they scare children. I mean,
Mhm.
I was scared straight for like 7 years of my life. So these people, they know what they're doing. So I need children to
Mhm.
have a voice and to speak up. And thank you, Dr. Simone, because you thank me for getting the books there. But no, that anonymous donor who reached out to me, no, thank you to that person who felt the need to help children, to felt the need to be so generous to help children. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, she wants to remain anonymous. But I have to tell you, we've been doing incredible work with the book because,
Mhm.
and we want to get to what are the opportunities that are coming up for you since your
Yeah.
appearance on CBS, what you've done so far, and what you will potentially do in the future. But it
Mhm.
has been an incredible tool. We've had, let me check, we've had 4 interactive
Oh
reading
wow.
sessions to date, and
I saw a couple.
we
Yes.
only started the first week of August.
Mhm. Mhm.
So we've already had the Ready, Set, Go summer camp program, Big Sister, Little Sister summer
Yeah.
camp program, the Cultural Division did a reading, as
Mhm.
well as the Girl Guide Association. And we want to say a very special thank you to Tanya Dixon. She has been our ambassador on the ground, looking for opportunities. I think at this point, she isn't even have an opportunity to present to an international group.
That's
So we're
amazing.
taking your book as a tool and we're
Mhm.
just taking it to the world. So between you taking it to the world and what we're doing,
I'm
we
trying.
have to get this. And we don't call it a book. This is a tool.
It's really
This
a
is the
tool.
tool that we needed. This was the missing link because we can talk to children as much as we want, Dr. Shamina. But when you
Yeah.
said on the show, if I had this book in the
Oh my
past
God.
and I could take my mom's hand and I
Mhm.
could just point, I didn't have to
Mhm.
use any words, I could just point. That is a powerful tool.
Yes. Let me tell you, that would have been so I'll tell people some people what I did. And I don't want to forget to thank Fox News as well, because
Yes.
before I go on, after the CBS morning show, the Fox News, a wonderful woman, Lauren Simonetti, I'm sorry. And she has a podcast called Mommying Today. She has been so amazing, just encouraging me, and she got me on the podcast. I mean, I did that with her, and she's become a friend to me. She's just so amazing, and I look forward to working with her and chatting with her some more. But one thing I would say to you, Dr. Simone, about this, what you said about having the toolkit, the things within the book. When I was writing the book, so many times, of course, in my life, when these bad thoughts will come up, things of my past, I would immediately say, okay, block it out. Let's think about something else, right? To avoid the depression that comes with that. But when I was writing that book, I did the worst thing I could do to myself. I would literally sit there and try to remember what happened to me and how I felt when it happened to me. And I put myself back there trying to think about when I wanted to tell and how I couldn't tell. And I asked myself in those moments, what would I have needed? These people don't understand that this was the most difficult thing for me to do. And I tell everyone, I gained 15 pounds writing that book because I would literally drink and eat. I would drink, I would write the book, and I would drink because it would just I have to calm myself. And I would just eat. I would just snack to just calm the pain. It was like I put myself through so much trauma writing this book. I mean, and some people just don't understand. And I hope people know that I did this for all the right reasons. And it was really difficult. It was a difficult time.
Yeah, and that's why we have to say that you're brave because
I
most of us spend our entire lives burying it.
Yes,
So here you are trying to relieve everything that you've spent
yeah,
so many years
trying to just
trying to bury and
I know.
subdue, and now
Mhm.
you have to go and revisit everything to be able to write this book. But did you ever get counseling, by the way? I don't think we ever
Oh
talked
my
about
God.
that.
No, no. So when I came to the US, I started going to Stony Brook University in New York. And of course, the schools come with a free counselor. As part of your tuition, you get free counseling. And I don't think I had a very good counselor at the time, because when I went to her and I tried to first, I was very homesick. I miss Dominica. Then that stuff started to creep up in my mind. And then the two things together, I was really depressed. And when I went to that counselor, she basically just said, well, she wanted me to kind of give her like an event, like tell her what would happen to me. I said, I can't speak those words. But if you ask me a question, if you ask me, did that happen to you or that happened to you? I could say yes or no. She did not want to do that. And so she basically told me that, well, you're not ready to be healed. When you're ready to be healed, come back to me. No, Dr. Matthew, have you ever had
No, 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 no. Is Dr. Margaret around somewhere? I'm looking for Dr. Wallace. Dr. Wallace, paging Dr. Wallace. We need some help over here.
yes,
That's what she said to you?
yes. And have you ever had like an angry cry? The cry
Yes.
where your face doesn't move, the tears come down your cheeks, and you've envisioned what you have just done to this person? I had an
Yes.
angry cry. She hurt me so deeply. She scarred me that I have never been to counseling ever again. And I know I need counseling. Even like sweet old Gayle King told me, ma'am, you need to get some counseling. And I'm going
Yes.
to do that. I'm going to get some
Mhm.
counseling. I'm going
Mhm.
to find someone to help me, because I really need help. Because after, I mean, and I'm gonna be a very transparent person. After like, writing the book, going through what I said I did, like opening myself to kind of go back there. June, I had a really terrible month. It was a really terrible month. I even had a few people who asked me to come in to kind of talk about the issue, and I had to decline because my husband can tell you, I broke down a lot. I was a mess. I was fighting with my mother. Things I never do because I was so messed up. I was so messed up. I'm
Mhm.
better now. I'm getting better every day. But
Mhm.
that thing will you think sometimes you think that you've healed, or for many, many years I thought I was fine when I
Yeah,
had
because you
just
buried it,
yeah, but there's
but
certain
you buried it and it's only festering.
exactly, exactly. And there's triggers, right? Like when I had my daughter, that was a trigger because that's a little girl, my little person. I love my son and my daughter like to death, and I love them equally. But my daughter is just like a little me, and I
Mhm.
just like cannot imagine that happening to her. Just cannot. I would not live if that would
Mhm.
happen to my daughter. And so little triggers, just little triggers. I when I was in New York, I hugged a friend's daughter, my really, really good friend. I met him and he brought his daughter with him. And just for privacy, I'm not gonna say who they were, but I hugged his daughter and I started to cry because it's just like just hugging little girls, especially. And I know it happens to boys too, but I live in a female form.
Mhm.
Hugging little girls will trigger me sometimes. Just hugging a little girl, I will get triggered. And
Mhm.
something so beautiful as hugging a child can lead me to severe depression. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, because it recalls for you what that hug meant. It was nefarious.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
wasn't genuine. It wasn't pure. It wasn't love. It was
yes.
evil.
And I just feel like how precious they are and how sweet they are. And that little girl, like I hugged her and I started to cry, and I'm telling her, I'm crying because I'm happy. And she's like, Are you sure? And I'm like, Yes, I'm so happy to meet you. But it was just so emotional because I was meeting her for the first time. I grew up with her dad, but I was meeting her for the first time, and I had all these emotions. And I was also going on the show the day after. It was just a lot of emotions. But little girls are also just like a triggers sometimes to me.
Mhm. And I have to say, I'm really happy you're open to counseling now
Mhm.
because given that we know now that this is your purpose, you
Yeah.
have to take care of you first.
Oh
To
my
be able
goodness.
to do this work, you have
Mhm.
to take care of you. And that is one of the aspects of the Dominica Child Protection Society that we're doing,
Mhm.
recognizing the need for counseling. So
Mhm.
we're working with Dr. Margaret Wallace to ensure that we can provide remote counseling because we all know what happens in Dominica. Sometimes the word gets out, and before you know it, there's the stigma and there's this is not how it happened, this is how it happened. So we rather just use resources from overseas
Mhm.
and do some telecounseling. But I'm very happy to hear that
Yeah,
you're open to counseling because you will
definitely.
need to take care of yourself to be able to continue doing this work.
Yes. So my brother, so Deactivate LLC is a brand over that book, and it's just the three of us. It's myself, my husband, and my brother, Ronald. And my brother, he's younger than me by 11 years, but he's so mature beyond his years. And when I went to him and said I wanted to do this book, he was just like, "For you, yes," because he goes, "You need to write this book. You need to heal somehow." And because he's been encouraging me so much to get counseling, let me tell you, this boy is never wrong. And he's like my father. He's just like he is just what I need in this life. And between him and my husband, they're my support system. And he's like, when he told me I need to get counseling after this book, I was like, I need to, because he said, I don't want you to take something so good as this book and then it has you so have you so traumatized, because like I said, in July I was a mess. So just listening to people like who I know care about me, and God sends these angels, like a friend Eloise from since when I was going to Plattsburgh State, she reached out to me, and she has like her own wellness business, and she said, you know what, for you, let's chat. I'm not even gonna charge you. Let's talk about your well-being and everything. And just it's like I would not have known to reach out to her. She just knew that I needed something. And I
Yeah.
have my friends, like my really good friend the other day, she sent me a video and she goes, I felt like you needed this, my friend Linola. And I was like, you know what? I needed this because I'm also trying to learn to forgive. Because I know that the hardest thing for me. I'm telling you right now, before anybody would tell me about forgiveness, I would say, no, get out of my face. If you want to make me angry, it's to tell me to forgive my perpetrator.
Mhm.
But now I'm learning, you know what? Maybe I need to just forgive to help myself let go. And it's
Mhm.
not easy because I felt like I've forgiven in the past, but then I've learned that the person went on to do certain things and like I unforgive. I cannot explain it. It was things that happened to other people, and I'm just trying my hardest to just I don't know, but I'm trying.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, absolutely. And I think it begs the question as well, as far as you know, did your perpetrator maybe approach your brother? I mean, do you know of any, if that was the case, or as far as you know, it's only you? Because it begs
well,
all sorts of questions.
there so what I will say is because my family can sometimes just, you know how Dominica is. It's like instead of people getting the message, sometimes it's more like, I'll just say quote unquote Beth. So
Hmm.
there's a lot that happened in my family. I don't my brothers are out of that equation, but I know
Hmm.
that there are things that happened to other people in my family, and my perpetrator was never, I mean, is a free man today.
Apprehended. Wow.
Free man. And I believe, and the thing is, there might be an investigation going on now because I think it continues to happen. I think my perpetrator continues to abuse others. And people in Dominica are well aware. However, people, they're aware, but nobody will stand up for these children. So I think things are changing. I see slight movements and I think things are changing. But
Hmm.
just for my family's own privacy, I will
Hmm.
not say more about that.
Right,
But
right.
I think, yeah, things are
Yeah,
happening.
that's understandable. Now, we all want to know what's next for Dr. Shamina, the other opportunities that are coming on. But before we do, let us check in with the Facebook Live folks. We are so happy that they're there and they're there in droves. So let's see who is here with us. We stopped on Olivia, Pauline Hector. Nice to see you. Marsha Bro is Lawrence is in St. Martin and listening. Let's see who else we have with us. Louisa Japierre, all the way out there in the UK. Thank you for being here. Rosita Noel, Laura Daniel, Laura Baptist, Inclair Sanders, Anthony Simon. Always great to see you. My mom, Medina Senhouse. Nice to see you. Cheryl Bascom is here. Pyro Davidson, another champion for the cause, is with us. Semi Delia, Catherine Charles, Anne Marie Joseph, and Kurt Williams. Now, let's take some comments because I saw some
Oh,
comments coming in. A lot of them are congratulations. Laurencia says,
thank you so much,
congratulations.
guys. I felt
Yes.
all your support. Trust me. I
Ah,
felt,
you know
I
this person, Laurencia.
Yes, I honestly felt everybody's support. Like it was
Yes.
definitely a lot more support for me than I ever expected. And
Yes, and I'm telling you, it was incredible because I am a part of several WhatsApp groups,
mm-hmm.
and every WhatsApp group
Oh,
shared that video because it's on CBS this morning on YouTube,
okay,
CBS
yeah.
Mornings on YouTube,
Mhm,
and everyone copied and pasted it into the WhatsApp group, and there was nothing
mhm.
but congratulations
Yeah, thank you
in the
guys. Thank
WhatsApp
you so
groups.
much. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And then Marcelin Edwards says, congratulations on such a great book, timely to the era of our sick culture of pedophiles. So true.
Oh,
Clyde Gregoire, that was a timely and prophetic happening,
mm-hmm.
seeing what Dominica children are going through. Hope the authorities take note and stop lip service. You were chosen for this at this time. He is so correct. And you know what we're trying to do,
Yeah.
Dr. Shamina? We're trying to get into the schools. So
Yes,
there's an
I'm trying to
organization
get
called,
Dominica as well. Yes, to get into the schools.
yes, there's an organization called the East Dominica Federation, Children's Federation, and they are already in the school.
Okay.
And we're trying to see if we can collaborate with them and
Mhm.
have part of the programming that they're already doing,
Yes.
use that resource
Mm-hmm.
to beat a part because they're already in the school. So why try to reinvent the wheel and you try to get in when there's already an organization?
That's true. That's true. And I'm willing to help however I can. I'm willing to help with costs. I'm
Mhm.
willing to help with anything I can to help them, help those children. So,
Absolutely. And it's great that you're so accessible because, it's important work that you're doing. So we really want to thank you for that.
yes, thank you so much, Dr. Simone.
Yes, yes.
I call you Dr. Simone, Dr. Matthew.
Oh, it doesn't matter to me. Simone is fine, but I think we're just used to saying Dr. Shamina and Dr. Simone. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter to
And
me.
I'm fine with even Mina. I like Mina, so
Yeah,
it's
okay,
fine.
well, Mina.
Yeah, I like Mina because that's what my mother called me growing up.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Louisa Japierre said, tell it as it is. Girls need to know. Marceline
Mhm.
Edwards, it was painful, not may have. I think she's kind of confirming what you went through.
Yeah.
Inclair says, so sad. Kathleen Charles, good afternoon, watching from Guadeloupe. Nice to be
Oh,
of
Guadalupe.
you to be here. Louise Andrew, it's really good you wrote this book. It's helping a lot. of young girls and adults who went through it. And yes, I'm happy that
Adults.
Louis brought up that front
Okay.
of adults, because I think what we've seen in Dominica is many adults who simply say, you know what, it happened to me and I was fine. So what's the big deal?
Oh wow.
Yep.
That's different. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know anybody who is really fine, but yeah. I think they block it out so much. Maybe they think
Yes.
that they're fine. Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Because now
I
that
thought I was fine for a long time too.
right, right, exactly. Because now that
Yeah.
we're in this work and we're doing a lot of it on the ground,
Hmm.
we're getting a lot of feedback. For example, that is why
Hmm.
many parents don't follow through with the litigation,
Uh,
because they simply think that, with time the children will
mm,
forget, and then children become promiscuous and they wonder why.
yeah. And then, or sometimes like children get married and then they have issues in their relationships, trust
Hmm.
issues, sexual issues,
Hmm.
all kinds of issues. I mean,
Hmm.
I will tell people, when I was getting ready to have my kids, there's nothing wrong with me physically, but I had two C-sections because I did not believe that I could go through with natural childbirth. I was too
Hmm.
traumatized. I just could not. Anything that had to do with my vagina, anything that had to do with that, I wanted nothing of it. And it
Wow.
got to the point where I was so scared when I was around 7 months. And my doctor's telling me, the baby can come at any time after 7 months, it could be an earlier birth. I was getting so paranoid that they actually had to have a case study on me. I was the subject of a case study. They had several doctors from not just her group, but other groups. And they had to kind of go through, okay, here's her past. This girl has been sexually abused and she's really scared. And they decided for my own sanity that they should have a C-section. So, I mean, that was not easy for me. My doctor really tried. And I was like, this is no, I am not going through with this. I'm like, I will absorb that baby before you make me have a natural birth. There was no way, no way. So
Wow.
yeah, that is just some of
That's,
the things I've been through. And recovering from a C-section is no joke. It's no
mhm,
joke. You have
mhm,
weeks of healing to do versus,
mhm.
a vaginal birth.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I had a natural birth, and I've heard about
Yeah.
the C-sections, that
So
they're nothing to sneeze about. So, thank you, Dr. Shamina. So, let's talk about what is going on for you. You talked about Fox News. Tell
mhm.
us about other opportunities that may have come by the way because of this incredible opportunity of appearing on CBS Mornings.
Okay, so not a whole lot to report, but I would definitely say that I had a couple of nonprofit reach out to me. One
Yes.
of them is Jane Doe No More, and the very young lady Donna Palomba, she was actually a victim herself, and that is why she created this foundation called Jane Doe No More. There are several shows about her actually on BBC and Dateline about her story of being raped, and then of course being almost she kind of what is it she went through some kind of aggression again, so more than one incident in her adult life. And she was so kind, so encouraging. She's invited me to be a part of her organization to actually listen to some of her other volunteers speak. So she has been super super kind, and one of her board members had a really big purchase. They donated some money to us and basically bought a ton of books, I will say that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
And they plan to give those books out to children who need them. So we've been getting calls from organizations like that, some larger ones, some smaller ones, and of course, just trying to get the book into some bookstores, like some Black-owned author bookstores, just different bookstores, not just Black-owned, but all kinds of bookstores, and other people who buy books in bulk to just kind of get it out there. So the other thing that happened, that which I think is funny, I've already been asked to write the next book.
I was about to ask you. That was my next question.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe, oh, I'm Marie Laurent Richard, my really good friend here.
Yes, I highlighted her message because
Yes,
I didn't want to forget to read it. So she says, Shamina,
yeah,
congratulations, admire your bravery. This book is powerful. Thank you, Anne Marie.
yeah. She's our CEO for the Dahai organization, and
Yes.
just an amazing woman. So
Mhm.
no, just so the second book. So on my website, you'll see that I mentioned that I said this is the first in a series of books. But when after I did the first book, I'm like, well, this was a lot of work. This is no easy feat. And I'm a self-published author. All that money came from my account and my brother's personal accounts. And we're just like, okay, how are we gonna do this? But Book Baby, they've been so good with us. I feel like, okay, maybe I could do this again. I could probably do this again. And I really want to write a book that's geared towards parents this time. So the same title, If You Touch, I'll Tell, for parents. So I started doing my research and I started putting some chapter outlines together. And I say I probably need a year and a half because this will not be a picture book. This will be like a much more informative book. So I would need some time, but I'm working on something to help. And I just need some time, some prayer, some grace, and some inspiration from God. So to get that done. So
And you have all of that from us. You
oh,
have
thank you
all
so
of that
much.
from us. And I think it is so important to keep the momentum going because
Hmm.
I think, and you know this being from Dominica, what we always see is too short to flam. We get
Yeah.
excited about, and that's why I created the Dominica Child Protection Society, because
Hmm.
here we are, we were overwhelmed about Kanisha H.N. gone missing. We're
I
overwhelmed about,
know.
child abuse in Dominica. And then we talk about it and then politics takes over. We come
Yes.
back, we talk about it, politics take over. We seem to always just gravitate right back to politics. And politics is important, right?
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
important, but we have to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time,
Yes.
right? So,
Amen.
so some of us have to dedicate ourselves
Hmm.
to other causes. And I'm fortunate. I can't say I've ever experienced that kind of abuse, but I
Hmm.
think that the fact that Kanisha Etienne went missing the day I arrived in Dominica,
Hmm.
talk about signs. To me,
Yes.
that was a sign of God saying, what are you going to do about it? Because this
Oh
is
my God.
happening the day, June 7th, I arrived in
Hmm.
Dominica. June 7th, Kanisha Etienne went missing. And
Uh-huh.
to me, it said to me, well, what are you going to do to try to protect Dominican children?
Hmm.
So it's
I was just gonna say, sorry to cut you off.
no problem.
Some things I like to keep to myself, but because you said that, I feel like you said that because I meant to say what I'm gonna say now.
Mhm.
Kanisha Etienne, that child was almost like, like when Jesus died on the cross, he was just like what's the word I'm looking for?
Sacrifice, sacrificial
Sacrifice.
lamb.
Yes. I cannot believe I'm gonna say this out loud, but that little girl spoke to me
Mhm.
wherever she is, and I believe she's in heaven. But it
Mhm.
was days after when we stopped hearing about whatever happened to Kanisha. That was when my phone started to ring. And that was when I started hanging up on that poor producer at CBS Mornings. It was right around that same time. And I get these things where sometimes things will happen or I'll have a dream and I'm like, what does that mean? And
Mhm.
then a couple of days later, something will happen. I'll go, that is what that was about. So I kept on dreaming about her, dreaming about her. I'm like, what is going on with that? Anyways, long story short, on August 2nd, when I got the phone call, my brain said, Kanisha, this is not, and I get those, when I get those feelings, it's like my whole body is just like hairs raised. I
Mhm.
mean, that child, she was a sacrifice. I mean, I
Yep.
hate saying that because
Yep.
she's a person, but these children are very powerful in their ability to
Mhm.
attract God, and God loves children.
Mhm.
And it's not a coincidence. It happened like right when I was dreaming about her. A couple days later, I'm getting these phone calls. I even told my mom, I said, Mom, I feel like she went to intercede for us.
Mhm.
This is the craziest thing.
Absolutely.
I
That is
cannot believe I'm
powerful.
saying this to you, but it's
Yeah.
something I experienced, and only I know what I experienced.
Yeah, yeah, and I think she has to be a wake up call, and
Yes,
she has to keep us awake because we wake up and then we go back to sleep. But
yes,
in my mind, Kanisha has to keep us awake, and I'm happy to see there was a recent candlelight vigil
yes.
for her, and we're finding ways
Oh
to
my
keep
goodness.
her memory alive, and we're finding ways to do work
Yes,
because of her, because she was a sacrificial lamb that
exactly.
caused us to say, well, finally, we're not going to let this be a too short to flam the situation. But let's take some comments because a lot of comments are coming in. Pyro says, keep the faith, stay strong, great vibes. Judy says, congratulations. I've been telling everyone
Oh,
about your book after learning
thank
about
you.
this story. So needed. Thank you. Lofty Durand, great to see you, Lofty. Great work, very timely writings. Anne Marie says, much love, excellent idea. Marshall, yes, you can overcome daily. The unforgiveness is of the old nature, but
Mhm,
the new nature in you leads you to forgiveness and
mhm.
has the ability and grace to
Yeah.
subdue and strip the power of the experience gradually.
Wow.
You are more than a conqueror. Oh, that is beautiful.
That
Thank
is
you so
so
much,
amazing. Yes.
Marshall.
Thank you so much. I think I've learned that along the way. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Judy, great idea for parents. Marceline, as long as it remains plaintiff, victim versus perpetrator, accused instead of the state versus the accused, these cases remain to be compromised either by hush money or the justice system. Yep, and we see a lot of that,
Oh,
a lot of hush money, even when parents know for a fact. So we
right.
have a lot of work to do.
A lot of work.
We have
And
a lot of work to do.
so something I wanted to say too, I've
Yes.
been saying that to everybody that talk to me. I encourage other people if they can, because I know speaking up is not easy. But I
Hmm.
always say that, I cannot be the only voice, not for Dominica. It's a lot. And I always say, if anybody else wants to speak up, if you think even that there's a little inclination in you to speak up, give me a call. Let's
Hmm.
talk and speak up with me because, it is tiring. It's draining for me. And I feel like if there's more than one voice, we have a stronger impact. So, and this is not about a spotlight for me. Like I said before, I really wish we could do this like a group effort. So I was telling one of my friends, my really good friend, Lizanne Howe, who's trying to kind of get something together, another session, I guess, on the radio. I said to her, can we find a panel? Can we get more people involved? Because it's not about me. Let's get some more voices so that we can say, see, all of us here, we've suffered this. So if anybody listening, if you've gone through what I've been through, please, you can reach out to Dr. Simone. She has my number. Reach out to me. I can help you try to open up. And I'm not forcing anyone. I know it's hard, but I need you guys. I need you guys. I'm begging you guys to help me, help the children. It's not about me. I don't want to be the only one, like let's do this together.
Absolutely. And the other thing that came to mind as well, Dr. Shamina, because I'm looking at every angle of how
Mhm.
to keep this message going. What about the idea of potentially some workshops, using the book as a tool, and generating some workshops both for children as well as for parents?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. I'm
Yeah.
happy to do some workshops. I mean,
Mhm.
just we can talk about that. I'm just happy to do it. Well,
Yeah.
I can even volunteer my time to do it. This
Yeah.
is really about getting the message out there, helping children find a voice. And I
Mhm.
wanted to say thank you to my friend Pearl. Pearl Fontaine. She has
Mm,
been
yes.
so amazing trying to get this book to different media outlets in the US. As a matter of fact, I met my friend Lauren Simpanetti from Momming Today on the Fox podcast via Pearl. She has just been so amazing. She really wants to help children. Advocacy, women and children advocacy is really her purpose, and she's been just so supportive. So I just cannot forget all these people. I mean, there's so many people I want to thank. All my friends and my family who reposted the CBS morning broadcast and posted tweets and those letters of encouragement. Oh my goodness, so many people. I know I'm gonna miss a whole lot. My friends Glenn and Celeste and the Marie sisters who fed me in New York. I tell you, when I went to New York last week, I don't think I paid for any food.
Good. You shouldn't.
I had friends come out and they would buy me the night before the breakfast. Well, I was after the studio. I had breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean, Sidika and all her friends from New York. I mean, everybody like Allison Kentish. They also helped me gain more weight. Therefore,
That's okay. It's good weight. And you know what? The winter is coming around. You can cover up. It's okay.
yes, 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 yes. I mean, it's just so many people. And like I know we talked about that, Dr. Matthew, like so many people. I know I want to thank everybody. Oh my God. Felix Augustin.
Yes.
He is like my agent that I don't pay. I'm so sorry, Felix. When I have money one day, I swear to God, I'll be paying you back. But he was like answering so many questions from people who didn't know where to find the book because there was an issue with my ISBN number on Amazon. So Amazon is looking to fix that. And that's why the book is saying sold out. It's not
Oh, that is the problem because I
that
remember
is the
when we were
problem.
trying to order it for the donation to Dominica, we were seeing only one copy available.
I know it's so sad, but we're hopefully that will be fixed very soon, and then we can get that like taken care of, so people can get books on Amazon. But it's just so many people. My class of '97, CHS '97 class, Camel Sister Circle, and my friend Kamisha for bringing my first 4 books to Dominica. She brought home a copy to my mom. I mean, just so many people like helping along the way. I mean, my friends who helped to edit the book, Janelle Baptist, Indra Seja, her daughter Gabby. Gabby wanted to know, Mommy, what does lust mean?
Oops.
So it was Gabby's idea to make me put that little definition that says, tell your child that lust
Yes.
means. So it was just so many people. And some of my friends they gave me such good radical candor, like, you cannot say that. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I'll change it. But
You,
I,
you know, and the good news is we have folks from other major platforms looking at us right now. Mo News, I just saw you, so thank you for being here.
oh,
Mr.
Emo
Loftus
News.
Durand, we need you. So, it cannot just be push past 10, continuing to push the
Yeah,
message out. Emo, if you would like to do an interview with Dr. Shamina, we know you have like, what, 100,000 followers, which is excellent. Loftus Durand, if you want to push the word out as well, because it's all hands on deck. So
yeah,
we have to get all our media houses. And I have to tell you, there will be a news article coming out in the Sun. The
okay.
Sun newspaper did a news article which will be released this week for the
Mm-hmm,
Dominica Child Protective Society, and of course, I mentioned the fact
mm-hmm.
that we're using your book to do the work. So we have to take it on from every angle.
Yeah,
However, we can keep the word out there, because my goal is longevity.
yes.
That is what I am striving for, longevity. So I went ahead and I put your website
Mm-hmm.
on the live, if you touch
Thank you.
touchalltell.com, and that's a great way to get in touch with Dr. Shamina. Let's see who else is here. Curly Langley, Diane Tag. Thank you
Mhm.
guys. Thank you so much for being here. Wayray Seth, Desiree Dumont, Vernie Vachi, Brian Demir, thank you for being here. So, Dr. Shamina, as we wind down, your final words, and again, I want to thank you for
Oh,
joining us today.
oh my goodness. Final words. Well, thanks to everyone on here. And let's see, I know I was going to forget people. My friend Farah Laurent, the owner of Guy's
Yes.
Essence. Oh my gosh. She always supports me, always has me on her shows and trying to encourage me. And I know I'm missing Dr. Fontaine from Q95. I'm
Mhm.
looking at the little list I put together. Oh my gosh. Of course, I cannot thank the CBS Morning Crew enough. They gave me such a big platform and they were just so supportive. And I mean, I owe them forever. And of course, you, Dr. Simone, again, thank you so much. I will partner with you. Let me know what you need. And it's a two-way street. If you need anything too, let me know how I can help push past 10. I'm happy to help. If I miss anyone, guys, you guys know who you are. My friends in Dominica, Natasha Jones, Dion Campbell. Oh my God. These are the people who I call to crying when shit hits the fan and I'm like, just cannot take it anymore. Like these are the girls that listen to me all the time. So thank you so much to everyone.
Yes, yes. And everyone, don't forget to share the live. We have to keep this message going out over and over again. The Dominica Child Protection Society will continue to do its part to ensure that we provide the education, the counseling, and keep on top of the legislations. Because I heard someone on the radio say, one of the politicians or somebody in authority say that Dominica has the best legislation when it comes to child
Yeah,
sexual protection. And I'm thinking to myself, well, we may have the best legislation, but are we putting it into use?
that's the
It's
problem.
one thing to have it on the books, but is it being implemented
Yeah.
so that our children are protected?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we
It's
have work to do on every level, educating parents, educating teachers, educating our children. So I just want this to be an ongoing effort. And again, Dr. Shamina, my final words to you, take care of you.
thank you so much, Oximo. And if I can just say one last thing,
Yes.
at the time,
Yes,
I also
there's
want
time.
to, I want the people who write the articles in newspapers to be very mindful when they write these stories, because I read a story where there was just too much information given, where they actually said what the person did to the child. And I think that those sentences could be omitted. You can just say the child was abused. You don't have to actually say what happened. Because even for those of us who've been abused, reading it is traumatizing. So
Mhm.
just to put that out there. But thank you again for the platform. Thank you,
Yes.
everyone. Thanks to my illustrator, Maria Luzina. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and thank you guys for all those listening. I appreciate all your love and support, and I give it right
Yeah.
back.
And we're thankful for you for being so brave.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you everyone on the Facebook. Let's make sure we didn't miss any. Oh, Abby Christmas, someone else we are
Abby.
working tirelessly with, the Girls Guides of Dominica. Abby, thank you for being here. Addison Baptist, Nicholas Gregoire, Louisa Japierre gives us a thumbs up. So, Dr. Shimina, as always, thank you for taking time off to be here with us today. Thank you, everyone on the Facebook, YouTube Live for being here. And of course, we're going to share this message on Untapped Potential on Tuesday so we can continue getting the message. And every session of my Roots Connections program, which is every 2 weeks, we get the message out again and again and again. So we will keep the fire burning.
Keep the fire burning. Amen.
Yep, absolutely. So thank you, Dr. Shamina. Everyone, thank you for joining us. Until next time, I am Simone Matthew. This is Push Past 10, and we will see you again soon. Actually, Wednesday, we have Sassinu. We are going all the way to Trinidad to speak to a Creole speaker in Trinidad. So you don't want to miss that. So don't forget, follow Push Past 10, click the notification button so you'll know when we are live, and we will see you soon. Thank you for being here. Take care.